Arriving in Lancaster in 1800 with his parents, 11-year-old George Sanderson was among the first people to live in Lancaster. At this time, Lancaster was a true wilderness, filled with dense forests and animals such as bears, cougars, rattlesnakes, and others that we don't often see. Young Sanderson was undaunted by this pioneer life, however, and he quickly looked to make his mark. Not even a teenager, he became a mail carrier, carrying mail by horseback. His route was an astonishing 75 miles from Zanesville to Chillicothe, passing through Lancaster. The terrain was difficult, especially at night. He made this trip once a week, and carrying the mail and newspapers sparked an interest in a career that he would pursue for the rest of his life: printing. Sanderson studied to be a printer, and in 1810, he started a paper called the Independent Press. However, that paper was short-lived due to the outbreak of the War of 1812, which he promptly volunteered for. He raised a company here in Lancaster and was elected captain. However, when he took his army to Detroit, he found out that the army he was to fight in had been surrendered by American General William Hall. This really enraged Sanderson, to the point when it came time to surrender to the British and give him his sword, Sanderson wasn't having any of it. Instead, he took his sword and broke it on a tree stump. He then returned home to Lancaster, paroled by the British, raised a new company, and rejoined the army, this time under future President William Henry Harrison and the legendary Wyandotte Chief Tarhay. Following the war, Sanderson returned to Lancaster and was elected sheriff of Fairfield County. But in 1825, he returned to what he really loved, which was printing, and he started a small paper called the Lancaster Gazette, which is still in publication today. As one of the first residents of this area, he was often asked to share his stories and experiences. So he would give a lecture entitled A Brief History of Fairfield County. Now that lecture became quite popular and was written in a pamphlet published in 1851 and is the first history of this area. Therefore, George Sanderson is often considered the first historian in Lancaster. If you're interested in learning more about the people buried in this cemetery, look for signs with the Stones and Stories Trail logo. You can also learn more by visiting fairfieldheritage.com.